Hi, it's Rishikavi Raghudas, and I am here to give all of us the astrological forecast for the week of June 4th through the 10th. That's right, it's the first week of June, so we are into summer now. See, I have my Summer of Love mug right here, and we're going to have a good time talking about the first week of summer, June at least. Okay, so first thing to know for this week, there are 3 planets in air and 3 in earth, which means that it is a very good time for ideas to think clearly. That may be a challenge this week. We'll tell you why. 3 planets in earth now through 2020 means that this is a time for manifestation. Everything that you want, you have to make visible right now. So let's go through it and see why that is the case for this week. First of all, the keynote for the week. We're going to give you a keyword every week from now on. The keyword for this week is clarity. C-L-A-R-I-T-Y, clarity. And that means that this is one of those weeks where if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it, for reasons that we will explain. So the energy this week is smooth but a little illusory. So what we want is for that mental and emotional clarity to be there. Here's the reason for that. The sun is currently in the sign of Gemini, which is the sign given to intelligence, the intellect, rationality, clear thinking. And Mercury is the ruling sign of Gemini. And guess what? Mercury is in the sign of Gemini, and this week is Cazimi. That means it is going to be conjunct the sun. So you have both the sun and Mercury, its ruling planet, in the sign of Gemini right together. Cazimi. Sounds like a good name for some magician, right? Cazimi. But in any case, this is one of those weeks where you could be easily frazzled if you're not careful, because there's a lot of mental energy going on. It's a sign that's associated with mentality, as I mentioned, but this week it's like very much there. So there's a tendency toward being frazzled if you're not careful. It also means that there are ideas galore for us to pick through this week. So it is one of those weeks in which we can get a lot done mentally. It's good to conceptualize a lot of ideas and things, places where you want to go this week with your life. It's a good week for all of that. But again, beware of the mental static that could come because the mental faculties are on high right now. So clarity is the word this week. On the other hand, this is a good week for perspective. Getting things very clear as to where you really want to go, as I mentioned, because the bigger picture tends to come into focus. With the sun conjunct Mercury, Mercury crossing the sun, it is one of those times where you can see ahead a great deal if you don't get stuck in the small details. Okay, we are in the wake of a grand trine in water signs, which means that Venus is currently in the sign of Cancer. Jupiter is in the sign of Scorpio, and Neptune is in the sign of Pisces. That constitutes a triangle of energy in water signs, which is a very nice emotional flow. And so we have that as a kind of a counterbalance to this kind of frenetic mental energy. It can be a very smooth emotional energy, good for connections. We're just in the wake of it because it peaked just this past week. We can use this smooth emotional energy to kind of smooth the waters. It's a water sign, after all, that all these things are in, to smooth the waters mentally. The moon is moving through the transpersonal signs. Aquarius, where it starts the week, into the sign of Pisces, and toward the end of the week moves into the more personal sign of Aries. So this is a week where you can think big and then put it into personal action as you get closer to the end of the week. Midweek, we have something very interesting. The moon, as it goes through the sign of Pisces, which is very creative and mystical, a little dreamy, and therefore can sort of take you off your sense of clarity, conjuncts Neptune in its home sign of Pisces. So this is a wonderful time for dreams and visions, and we want to caution you not to do too much escapism in the form of drugs and alcohol, because that's another possibility with all of this. And as this occurs, the Sun in Gemini makes a 90-degree angle, a hard angle that's called a square, to the Moon-Neptune conjunction. And what this means is come Wednesday or Thursday, there is a tendency toward not knowing what's going on. And the Sun in a square to Neptune by itself is a sign that could be a little fatiguing. It could be a real sense of, why are people not being clear? So, you want to be very clear midweek. The moon conjunct Neptune is a great time to do yoga, meditate, just relax. The Sun squaring that energy tends to make one want to veg out, which is a good idea midweek if you can do it. Not a great time to put things forth because nobody really knows what they want at this moment. Toward the end of the week, things get a little better as the moon moves into Aries. It's a time of initiating. So, moon starts out in Aquarius, good time to envision things. Pisces, make sure of all the details because there is a tendency toward lack of clarity. When the moon moves into Aries come Friday, good time to initiate all of that energy and projects. We are still in the wake of Uranus entering into Taurus. This is sort of the overall flavor for this week. Uranus, as we mentioned last week, going into Taurus is a big, big change. What it does is it causes the revolutionary energy of Uranus, the kind of shocking, unexpected forces that can come in and disrupt or gain great clarity and sudden insights. All of that moves into the sign of Taurus, which doesn't like any of that. It likes things smooth, steady, doesn't like any kind of change. Guess what? This is one of those moments where you can expect the unexpected. And Taurus energy rules money, resources, and stability generally in your life. It's a good time for developing, shall we say, artistic, revolutionary ideals. It's a good time to do something really outrageous with your own fashions or with your art in the world. Other than that, a good time to just do something different that you have not done before that will not disrupt your routine to the point where you just don't know what's going on, but take a chance. This is one of those moments to take a chance. Now, as we get toward the end of the week, Venus, which, as we were mentioning, is in the very sentimental sign of Cancer, lovey-dovey, very emotionally kind of moody, but just we love the closeness, the little kisses, all the things that go with being loving. It moves into an opposition to Pluto, the Lord of death and rebirth and power issues, in the sign of Capricorn. Venus, opposing the rather obsessive sign or planet of Pluto in Capricorn, in the sign of, Pluto in Capricorn rules power issues to do with structural things in your life. So Venus in opposition to that energy can be very passionate because Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, which rules sexuality and passion as well. And it rules money through others. So Venus in opposition to Pluto can be a real power connection when it comes to interpersonal relationships. Oh baby, could be very hot sexually. It's also one of those moments where you could really connect with somebody on a project level, perhaps even in terms of funding or money that you would like to see come into your life. And you have to be careful not to get into a subservient position with somebody in a position of authority. Okay, so all of those issues come to fore under Venus in opposition to Pluto late in the week. Now on Friday and into the weekend, Mars, which is in Aquarius, kind of a cerebral, I'm going to have to think this through kind of energy. Another revolutionary energy, Aquarius, Uranus being the ruling planet of Aquarius, and Uranus being very powerful right now, as we mentioned, as it changes into Taurus. Mars in Aquarius tends to want to think things through with a lot of force. Mars in Aquarius is sort of like you dump your classic car and take up in something like a three-wheeled vehicle, something really strange. Mars in Aquarius says the better I think ahead, the better off I am. So, Mars, toward the end of the week, tends to be in an awkward angle called a quincunx to Saturn, which is all about structure and authority. So the weekend, you might want to do something really kind of off the wall, but make sure you don't get into a position where the cops can find you, if you know what I mean. This is kind of restless, I want to do what I want to do kind of energy, and I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. So with that caution, the week ends on a good note because it is kind of one of those energies that says burst out and do what you want to do. Hit the road. That's why I'm wearing my Route 66 t-shirt right now. You want to hit the road with your ideas toward the latter part of the week. So, in summary, be yourself this week. Know what you want. Make sure that you're seeing things clearly. Be flexible enough to make sure that if something goes wrong, that you can backtrack and gain even greater clarity from it. And flow your energy. Don't block it. Because some of the Sun square, Moon, Neptune, mid part of the week, you just might not feel like doing much of anything. So, flow your energy. It's a better week ahead. It's a very interesting week where you can get a lot done this week. Take it easy as you go. This is Ra. I think I'll end with maybe a love poem because of the Venus opposition to Pluto being so passionate. So, because it's summer, about to be summer, here's what we'll do. A little excerpt from one of my poems called Fresh Rapture, the Glimmerings of Love. Merge the end of a summer's rain shower, twilit by mist and half-luminous dew, with the moment when the silvered flower feels in its petals the sky turning blue. Within the crystal fount of such an hour is formed the halo blending old and new. Unseen at first, yet bathed with bright power, the unveiled rainbow shimmers into view. Just so was that glimmering dawn aglow that flowed unrecognized out from my breast. So subtle and deep, I still scarcely know just when love's light streams illumined my chest. Haloed with heart mist, delicate of hue, such was the moment I knew I loved you. This is Ra. Thanks. I'll see you next week.